Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses. And then, in honor of Tax Week this week, they are going to be given a stack of taxes that are not done. They are going to try to complete as many taxes as humanly possible. And whoever completes the most taxes the most accurately will be the winner. And this is a public service thing. We're trying to help people out with this. So, it's just our way of helping. We're trying to help people get through these tough times. So, by having SoulsBorne bosses do your taxes. So, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but, we're just trying to help people out. Don't send your hate mail to me. I don't want to hear about it. So, all right. We have two SoulsBorne bosses. Maybe. Could be more. You never know. But we have the battlefield cleared off. It is set to go. It can house any SoulsBorne bosses we choose. And the first one we're going to choose is the Amygdala from Bloodborne, who has been making several appearances lately in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. I mean, the appearance speaks for itself. I mean, the Amygdala is tough, has many legs / hands, is a fearsome foe, and certainly not one to be trifled with, that's for sure. Many people fear the Amygdala, and they are right to do so. The Amygdala is certainly a sight to behold, and could take just about any boss here in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. So this is very interesting. It's always interesting when the Amygdala shows up. All right, we are going to take this wheel for another spin. The Amygdala is going to be doing somebody's taxes. Think about that. Think about that for a second. How is that going to work out? Actually, the Amygdala could probably do several people's taxes at a time. It has many different hands and legs, although only, as far as I know, one set of head and eyes, so don't ask me how that's going to work. Anyway, the Amygdala on one side of the arena in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, and on the other side we have the Dark Lurker from Dark Souls 2. Damn it, I don't have my sound effects on, or I would have put the buzzer on right away. I got, you know what? I'm going to get an email from the legal department again. I'm giving away my opinion. But you know what? I don't think it's very controversial. I really don't. So, that being said, we are still obligated to go through the contractually obligated bios and the verdict section. So, let us have a... It's so, ridiculously predictable that I can't even talk. Let us have a look at the Amygdala. The Amygdala are considered great ones in the world of Bloodborne. And I suppose if I lived in a world where there were giant invisible creatures that could be lurking about anywhere, and they had many dozens of eyes and all these legs that had hands on the ends of them, I would probably call them great too, lest they get a hold of me and crush my body like a bug. You can tell how great they are considered because there are statues of them virtually, well, I don't want to say everywhere, but in the Cathedral Ward and in Yorgul Unseen Village, statues of them are visible. They're revered. Once again, I can't blame them. Patches the Spider is apparently the most devoted to the Amygdala, and he is usually making sacrifices to them in the name of his god. Through the use of the Tonsil Stone, he is luring people over there into the Nightmare Frontier for the Amygdala. So, that's generally Patch's devotion to them. That's what he does. Although when you kill him, Patches really doesn't seem to give a shit, so that gives you insight, no pun intended, insight into Patch's loyalty, which, you know, spans across all SoulsBorne games. That's basically how loyal he is. He's loyal to you until he's not. So, tells you all you need to know about Patches. There's really not much more on the Amygdala. One of them finds their way into the Nightmare Frontier in an area called Amygdala's Chamber, which not sure how that name came about, but that's basically where you fight in Amygdala. And like I said, they are creatures with multiple eyes and multiple legs / arms. They do a lot of sweeping attacks. They're a very tough enemy, and certainly not a creature I would want to mess with. Dark Lurker lore does not exist. The Dark Lurker can only be fought through the Pilgrims of the Dark Covenant. Once all the beacons in the Dark Chasm of Old are lit, you will be automatically transported to its arena, and then you will fight this boss. When you look at it, it's kind of a badass looking boss. It presents itself as a four-armed angelic humanoid. Its face is completely obscured by a hood. It has wings. But it is weak to lightning and has moderate fire and magic resistance. And it is extremely resistant to dark damage, as one might expect. Once its health drops below 60, it will attempt to make a copy of itself. And it has some weapons that are no joke. It is armed with a dark sword, a laser beam, a dark spear, a dark meteor, fireballs, explosions, and, as I said before, the ability to make a copy of itself. So, I may or may not have joked about the Dark Lurker when it was selected for SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, but the truth of the matter is, it's a pretty formidable opponent, and it's certainly not something you... I know I've said this before about other bosses, but you don't want to come across this boss in a dark alley, that's for sure. I would most likely poop myself. Yeah, I think the Dark Lurker gets overlooked a lot in Souls history, but I think you could put it up against just about any boss in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death that could most certainly hold its own. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. I know how I reacted when the Dark Lurker was picked for this fight, and that may not have been entirely fair. The Dark Lurker is, he is a tough opponent, and he can most certainly do some damage, and is no joke in any way, shape, or form. This is the Amygdala, however, and I think staying power, there's something to be said for it. People still talk about the Amygdala. They don't talk about Dark Lurker. So I still believe that the Amygdala will win this fight without any reservations whatsoever. But I do think that the Dark Lurker... I don't think that Amygdala would quite run over the Dark Lurker. I think it would be quite a fight there for a little bit. But I just don't think the Dark Lurker has the ability to combat the Amygdala's size and the multiple arms / legs that it has. So that's just how I feel about that. I don't think the Dark Lurker is equipped to deal with everything the Amygdala has to offer, but that's just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death comes to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. The latest episode of that still up is Aiden learning he's about to become a knight, which is a very important, pivotal part of the story in the first book. So if you want to check that out, find it wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter are all Bobby's World 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask run. And this past Monday, we went into Stormfoot Catacombs, I think. and got through that, and then we went into the Stormhill Everjail, which turned out to be more than I was ready to handle at that point, but I gave it my best shot. I gave it my best shot. So, and I think we're just about ready to finally make our way into Stormvale Castle. So I think that's next up on the docket. So go check that out. It'll be there for you whenever you're ready. And right here, what you're watching right now is Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Come back next week. Check out another episode. It's always interesting to see what we land on and to see what is going to happen next, because you never know over here on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. So leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that crap. I love and appreciate you guys. I appreciate your love and support. I'm very sorry. I was just going to say, speaking of the podcast, I posted on my personal Facebook page the other day that for like a week, for the last 7 days, I had like one download when I uploaded that the last episode of the podcast. And then I go and look, and all of a sudden I have 15 out of nowhere. And it was... quite a few of them were all these countries that I'd never heard of, and it was just absolutely crazy. Someone had gone through and basically downloaded the entire library, you know, all 24 episodes. Not all of them, obviously, but quite a few of the first few episodes that were there. So that's pretty freaking cool. When you see different countries on there, it's like, it blows your mind a little bit. So I just think that's pretty awesome. But that's all I really wanted to say. I just, I love the support so much, and I appreciate it. It makes doing things like this a lot easier. I do love this work, but, you know, with all the other work I have to do, it's very tiring. But it makes it worth it when people are watching, listening, and people are enjoying the content. I mean, that's really what it's all about. So that's all I really had to say about that. So until next week, be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See you for live, y'all. Bye! What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out the video today, but I got a question for you. Did you know I wrote a book? Did you know I wrote 3 books? Did you know that they're all part of the same series? The Roar of a Dragon, The Treachery of a Weasel, and The Cry of a Raven. ReadersFavorite.com says that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. Now, I personally think that's crazy, but it's not for me to judge. It's for you to judge. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com and you can check out the books right now. But wait, that's not all. All 3 books got 5-star reviews in ReadersFavorite.com. These books won the silver medal in the Literary Titan Awards. The Cry of a Raven won silver at the Global eBook Awards. So what are you waiting for? Read about Aiden's dream to become a Knight of Delmar. Read about his death and resurrection. Oops, I gave that away, didn't I? And read about his journey back home from 3,000 years in the future to stop the evil that started in Delmar. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And then, if you're interested, you can buy the books there as well. And if you've already read the books or you just want to hear more about them, you can check out the Rise of Dragons podcast. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And in every episode, I cover a character from the book, an event from the book, my journey into writing, and everything in between. Ripley, what do you got to say about all this?
Give me a treat or I will end you.
You know she's telling you to check out the books. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com to check out the books or listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast if you want to hear about them. That's all I got to say, and thank you for watching this video.